I brought in a manual carpet cleaning wand. It's what virtually 98% of other carpet cleaners use out there. I'm going to show why we don't use one and we don't feel they get used properly hardly ever. Number one, it's manually operated, meaning I've got to push this back and forth, and if I use it properly, I need to trigger it 10,000 times a day, which would probably give me carpal tunnel within a week if I used it properly. What happens with carpet cleaners, and just about anybody I've ever seen use one, including instructors, is they grab onto the trigger, they clean about 5 square feet of carpet, they finally let go of the trigger, they extract that back up, and what happens is anytime I'm going in this direction with the trigger on, I'm going to be soaking the carpet. I didn't bring in the entire machine, but it's called rotary steam extraction. It's got a cleaning head that's driven by a motor, so it's got a lot of vacuum, it's got the spray jets, but this is turning across your carpet, so it's rinsing and extracting multiple times from different directions and gently agitating your carpet at the same time. It's actually impossible for this to go backwards. This makes it virtually impossible to improperly clean the carpet.
Good morning, welcome back.
Thanks.
Erica,
Yeah,
it's the Contractor Spotlight.
it is.
Why don't you introduce our guests?
Oh, yes, I'd love to. So we have today in studio, we have Chet Sadowski and Mike Sadowski from Chet's Cleaning. We're going to talk about spring cleaning, and is it a health issue, right?
It absolutely is, and people don't realize how much contamination has been brought into their house over the years.
So there was a statistic, do you remember, Adam, what the indoor
Yeah.
air quality?
So on the low end, the air quality inside your house is 5 to 10 times dirtier than the outside air. That's like from like the American Asthma Association or something.
Yeah.
Some crazy numbers. And obviously with furnaces blowing air and it recirculates it through your house, people walking, just it stirs up and then it just floats around and then lands on everything.
Right.
And then floats around and then lands on everything again and again. And we keep inhaling it and it becomes a big issue. Like you said, it's a health issue.
So are you guys busy right now with appointments for spring cleaning?
Yeah, very busy. We're almost booking a month in advance right now,
My
which
goodness.
is fantastic. But we had a really good winter too. You bringing up the indoor air quality, the carpet and rugs in your house are the largest air filters you actually have in a house.
Oh, I totally believe that.
Yeah, you're just talking about the air filtering up in the air and floating around. Well, with gravity, it all settles down into those horizontal surfaces, which are your carpets, and they load up with this contamination.
So can you talk a little bit about how you approach the cleaning and getting all of the stuff out of your carpet and rugs?
Okay, the number one first step for any professional carpet cleaner should be pre-vacuuming. And we actually take it a step further. We pile lift before we pre-vacuum. So we're getting as much of that dry contamination out of your carpet as possible before we get it wet.
What does pile lift mean? What does that mean?
Pile lift separates the fibers, so opens up the carpet pile, brings the deep ground in soil that was deeply embedded in your carpet to the surface so the vacuum cleaner can work more efficiently and get everything out. If we do that ahead of time, we get 50% more soil out than a regular vacuum cleaner.
Wow.
So
Okay, so I remember back when I had my first apartment and I had a secondhand vacuum cleaner and I would vacuum and like a cloud of dust would come out the back of it. So I'm sure you have better vacuums than that, but talk about what your equipment is like.
yeah, well, we use a pro-grade vacuum cleaner so it holds up to that environment, and it's also HEPA filtered. What people don't realize is the smaller the particle, the longer it floats in the air, the deeper it goes into your lungs, and actually the smallest particles actually get into our bloodstream. So it's imperative to have HEPA sealed vacuums. Miele's probably top of the line, then there's SIBO and a few others, but Miele's a zero emission vacuum. Another great vacuum is to have a whole house central vac because everything's going outside, not back into the air.
I had a central vac in my house.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It
was the greatest thing ever.
Especially nowadays, the technology is fantastic.
I had the toe kick application, the option.
In the kitchen, so you could
in
sweep
the kitchen,
it?
you could sweep everything in the toe kick. You just touch your foot to the underneath the cabinet, and it would open up and boom.
That's absolutely the best because
Right.
that's absolute zero emission because it's going outside.
So I have a question. We have Chet Sadowski and Mike Sadowski from Chet's Cleaning. Where are you guys located?
Madison Heights, so we're central in the city. All Metro Detroit is what we service.
And I learned something interesting recently. I didn't realize, carpet cleaners, truck mounted unit, that's all you need. No way is that the truth. And I was, always thinking, yeah, you just have a guy with a truck mounted unit and that's great. But when I went to the next level and had you guys, I just was floored at the thoroughness and when you say deep cleaning, let's tell everyone what that really means.
Okay. There's standards in our industry. It starts with pre-vacuuming.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be washing the carpet with some type of an emulsifier or detergent, and then ultimately rinsing the carpet and then extracting it and getting it dry. That's Mohawk, Shaw, the EPA. That's the recommended methods. Most carpet cleaners mix their detergent with the water they're injecting into your carpet. So they're spraying in detergent and then sucking it out. I don't know about anybody in the audience, but I learned as a child when I washed my hands, I actually rinsed them before I used a towel. Carpet cleaners are spraying detergent into your carpet, extracting it back out, and leaving all that detergent behind. And if they didn't pre-vacuum, they're leaving like a mud slurry deeply embedded in your carpet. So to do it properly, you got to start off that pre-vacuuming.
So the process that you guys take is much longer than a guy just coming out of a truck-mounted unit. They're in the house in an hour and a half.
Yeah,
that's not what you do.
Yeah, most of those guys walk up to your house with a wand in hand and they just start cleaning. We're going to protect your environment. Number one, we got walk-off mats, we've got corner guards, we've got all different types of equipment to protect your home to make sure that we're not going to cause any other damage. And then we're going to start an extensive cleaning process. We've got moving aids to get your furniture up on glide so we can easily move your furniture around safely and effortlessly. We have just the best equipment money can buy in order to extract all the soil out of your car.
Is there a difference in equipment?
Absolutely.
So not all equipment's created equal then?
Positively. Truck mounts, everybody, us in the industry, we talk about having very powerful truck mounts. That's important, but the most important tool we have are our technicians and the equipment we put in their hands. Most carpet cleaning companies use manual wands. I brought one with us.
Yeah, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, you get to see the manual wand. What's different about that from everything else?
A manual wand needs to be triggered. It should only be triggered on a backstroke. You can't see it on the radio, but when we come to your house to do an assessment, we can show you what we're talking about. But when most wands, they just trigger it. They do about 5 to 8 square feet of carpet at a time. They let go of the trigger, and then they suck up the water. The problem is they've pushed all that soil deeply into your carpet and left some of it behind and have not extracted it out.
So there is a difference. The process is much different.
Totally different.
And it's only as good as the technician, like you said. So that was the one thing that I instantly recognized when you guys came to my house was the thoroughness and the questions and the communication that I had with the technician that came. And the other thing is the visual cues. I'm going to mention that. And most homeowners may not know this, but to me, a visual cue is when as soon as somebody walks into my house, they stopped, put booties on, and then had little corner things to protect the corners of the walls. Like, I noticed that stuff.
The technicians were neat and clean in appearance. They were really nice and friendly as well.
Thorough.
So I think that speaks to probably some good training procedures you have in place at Chet's.
Well,
I was going to say, I get asked by a lot of clients being in their homes about how long or can I get a seasoned tech? All of my techs, they're about 6 months on the road before they ever separate from their leads. So if anybody walks into your house as one of our technicians, they've had 6 months of training before ever walking into your
On the job training.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
perfect.
Well, that's awesome. So you're not getting some rookie. They've been apprentices and they've been working with someone else.
And I think there's going back to your process, right? The first time I ever had my carpets professionally cleaned, the spots came back in about a month. But there's something that you guys do that eliminated that because none of my spots came back after you were in
number one is pre-vacuuming because you got to get that dry soil out. If you don't, that soil kind of sucks the water down deep into your carpet, and that spot's just going to come back up. The other problem is they sprayed detergent into your carpet, pushed those spots deeper, but they left detergent residue. Detergent attracts soil. That's how it separates soil from a carpet fiber to begin with. So when they're leaving detergent residue, it's like a soil magnet on the surface of your carpet. So not only are you bringing a spot up from behind, you're bringing spots up from the surface.
So you're attracting new dirt, and then the old dirt is still underneath.
Still there, coming up. So
what about the drying process? I know because you use a lot of detergent and liquids and extraction.
Use more water than anybody, but it's extracting that out. Being if that's where it comes into the high-powered truck mounts, you have a lot of vacuum extraction to suck that water back out of the carpet, and then we bring in fans to help dry the carpet.
I have a question, and this is an odd question, but when the duct cleaning companies come and do duct cleaning, they show you the residue afterwards, like inside the truck. Like, this is what we sucked out of your ducts, 25 pounds of schmutz.
Yeah.
Can you guys do because you suck all the out into you? It goes back into you like a holding tank. Yeah. Can you ever show the homeowner what's in there?
Yeah, I actually just did it for a client at the end of last week. What I end up doing if they ask or if they request it is we have a catch bin in our truck mount that I can open up, show them the actual dry or hair filter that caught most of the debris, but then I also empty some of the waste tank into a bucket, and I can show them the water that comes out if they so desire.
No thanks.
Yeah. No, I want to see that.
Yeah.
It looks like sewage.
It is.
Right. But that validates the expense.
It does. Yeah.
All right. Coming up next, we got more with Chet and Mark Sadowski.
No.
Mike.
It's the end of the hour.
Oh, well, hey, thanks for coming in, guys. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Higher Done Radio Network.